What's in a release package? We've talked in earlier modules how the CI process outputs a package. This is essentially a complete view of our database code, whether that's a series of migration scripts or the state of our database in a state-based development model. Using this package, we have to then determine exactly what we're going to deploy to downstream environments, and that's where release management comes in. The output package from our CI process is certainly in the format and structure we need, and it's driven by what our release process is actually going to consume. But it still have to do some work to produce the code that's going to run on a SQL Server database. What we're going to do at this stage is actually turn that CI output package into a release package which we can execute against our target database. Our release package can consist of multiple things. For example, we may have pre and post scripts that our developers have written that will be executed before and after our main upgrade package. We'll have an upgrade script that is either a script from our state-based comparison that's been produced on the fly, or it might be a set of migration scripts, or likely a subset of all the migration scripts that exist on our system. We also may have environment-specific code. Now, putting all this together in a release package is something that our release management system has to do, and has to actually perform, and it has to do it for each one of our intermediate environments. The release process will actually take the package and decide what to do. For example, in a state-based development model, we'll have to take that state and compare it against our QA server and develop an upgrade script. We may or may not use that same script to deploy to staging, but we'll have to make that decision as part of the release management programming. Typically, we will not regenerate that script when we go to production. And if in a migration world, we'll do the same thing. We may actually extract a subset of scripts that will be sent to QA, and then use, again, a subset of scripts to deploy to staging and production. We want to make sure that this is producing the same script, the same type of way every time. That's the idea with release management. We'll also have to ensure that we actually include any environment-specific code in here. So if we've stored this in a version control system, it may not come out of the CI process, and we may have to go extract out particular items to be variables or tokens that will be put into our script, and that will execute the appropriate code in the appropriate environment. Now, as we move forward, one way to build confidence here is to ensure that we always refresh production into staging or into some UAT environment, so we test our deployment in one last final way before we deploy to production. That's a best practice that allows us to ensure that everything in that environment looks just like production, and then we have that confidence to deploy it to the final step, the live production server.